I'm Karen Smith, a 30-year-old office worker. I just got divorced recently. The reason for the divorce was my ex-husband Eric's affair. His affair partner was my college friend. I still can't forget the despair I felt when I found out. How long did those days drag on? While cleaning his room during his business trip abroad, I found a completed divorce paper and a marriage registration form. Well, he was actually prepared, not just all talk. The weight I'd been carrying fell from my shoulders, and I couldn't help but smile. I immediately signed the divorce paper and rushed to file it. I had not only the divorce paper, but also a marriage registration together. It was accepted without issue, making me single and my ex-husband someone else's husband. Back home, I started decluttering with that same momentum. I handed over unnecessary items to the junk dealer and packed the needed ones into boxes and suitcases for the delivery service to pick up. Once I took a breather, I contacted a certain person. Yes, go ahead. That's what you wanted, right? A triumphant, cheerful voice came from the other side of the phone. Hearing that voice, my smile widened again. My ex-husband and I met as business partners. Our companies decided to work on a joint project, and both he and I were selected as members. Initially, we were just colleagues, but during a business trip together, we bonded over our shared love for alcohol. Before we knew it, we grew close, and after the project ended, we started dating. We were both in sales, so we traveled a lot for work, and we worked for different companies. Despite that, we made time to be together, and gradually, over time, we decided to get married on my 29th birthday. While planning the wedding, I happened to see his guest list. I noticed a familiar name on it. It was my college friend, Lena Anderson. Hey, is this Lena from Eric's company?
Yeah, she transferred to our department after that project. She mentioned she went to the same college as you, by the way. Do you know her?
Oh, yeah. We were in the same department, but we haven't really stayed in touch since graduation.
Oh, I see. She's a nice girl, always smiling. She's very attentive to details.
At that moment, I think my face froze without any expression. Listening to his words, I recalled my college days. I met Lena in a language class after we started college. I was with a couple of male and female friends from high school, and one of them approached Lena, who was a group of girls. At the time, I didn't think much of it, but in hindsight, Lena, who embodied the typical popular girl from a girls' high school, probably didn't like our co-ed group that much. She quickly integrated herself and secured a spot next to my male friend. Since I took a different course from Lena in our department, our classes didn't overlap much, so I didn't see her often. But my best friends from the same high school, Katie and Yvonne, who were in the same course as Lena, were put off by her personality.
Lena is a bit of a badass.
Hold on, is that Lena you're talking about?
Yeah, she's in the same language class as you. She totally sees you as a rival.
Really? Me?
Yes, she's always watching you and immediately approaches any guy you're close to or talk with.
Isn't that just a misunderstanding? Lena and I don't really interact that much in the first place.
That's not the point. You're an honors student, natural, friendly with everyone regardless of gender, and have tons of friends. Plus, you're secretly popular with the guys. For Lena, who's a social butterfly from a girls' school, you're the ultimate threat.
No way, I'm not popular. I don't do anything to stand out to be seen as a rival.
That's exactly it. You attract people without even trying. What the heck? This isn't fair. That's how she feels. And you know what? Karen, you really need to watch out for Lena.
What?
She's got her eyes on Ryan.
Seriously? The name that suddenly came up was Ryan, my boyfriend since high school. He's 2 years older than me and now a junior at the same university. Our friends from high school know about him, but I've never mentioned him to anyone I met in college. How does Lena know about my boyfriend I've never talked about? My puzzled expression must have been obvious. Katie and Yvonne sighed as they continued.
We never mentioned your boyfriend in front of Lena, but the guys, they talk way too much around her.
Why are guys so weak for girls like Lena?
We tried so hard to keep it a secret, but those guys just blab. She found out and gave us the nastiest looks.
Yeah. Her glare was seriously scary.
I see. This conversation got me thinking. If it was just something about me, I could ignore it or not notice. But if my precious boyfriend got involved? For him, Lena is a complete stranger. And for me, she's just a distant acquaintance from the same department. Why should someone like that have any right to interfere in our relationship with my boyfriend I've cherished since high school? I couldn't just stand by, so I contacted him on my phone. After confirming his location on campus, I hurried over there. What I saw made my expression harden.
Hi, Karen. What's up?
Standing unnecessarily close to him was Lena. Next to her, I could see a relieved look on his face.
Karen, is she your friend?
We're in the same department. Lena, is something wrong?
Oh no, I just wanted to check out Karen's famous boyfriend. I was curious to see what kind of wonderful guy she's dating. And wow, he's just as handsome and great as the rumors say.
What rumors? Her over-the-top cheerfulness was overwhelming him. Thanks, Lena. But sorry, we have plans.
What? Karen, you're so cold. Are you saying I'm in the way?
I didn't say that.
Hey, don't you think Karen is being cold? I mean, her friend just wants to get to know her boyfriend better.
No one asked her, and it's Lena's own desire to get close. Sensing the tension between us, he pulled me closer to him so she could see.
Sorry, I'm not interested in getting close to anyone but Karen.
Shall we go? He said to me, leading me away. When I glanced back, Lena's face was twisted with an expression I'd never seen before. After that, Lena blatantly started clinging to him. Whether I was there or not, she would wear revealing outfits to show off her body, constantly touch him, gossip about me, and invite him out anywhere she could. He always brushed her off with a blank face, but it was incredibly painful for me. I love him and want to be by his side. But because he's with me, he's under a lot of stress.
Karen, don't worry about it.
Yeah, thanks. But are you okay? You have job hunting, and your thesis is coming up soon.
Just ignore her. By senior year, she won't be coming to campus much, and you won't run into her. What bothers me more is not being able to be with you because of her.
Saying this, he stood by my side. In reality, from the time our junior year finals ended, he hardly came to campus. As long as he didn't come to campus, Lena wouldn't see him. We thought we had finally regained our peace. But that didn't last long. Somehow, Lena found out where he worked and joined his workplace as a new hire. When he told me about it, it felt like cold water was poured over my head. I'm really sorry. I'm causing you so much trouble. Being with me was now affecting his life. I couldn't stop crying over this fact. Even so, he hugged me tightly and said,
It's not trouble at all. I chose to be with you. It's crazy to let someone else come between us when we feel the same way. Don't worry. I've clearly rejected her, and I'm quitting the job.
What?
I'll find another job. I've already started looking for one. I won't tell anyone and just switch.
His hands gently stroked my back. Moved by his kindness, I sobbed into his chest for a while. In the end, Lena stopped following him after he changed jobs. It wasn't just the job change, he had apparently given her a stern warning.
She was complaining about how Ryan threatened to sue her for stalking.
Of course. He'd been putting up with it for so long, but it was long overdue.
Personally, I didn't have any classes with Lena after our junior year since we were in different tracks, so we rarely saw each other on campus. However, after he graduated and got a job, his sudden transfer and busy schedule made him lose confidence, and our 6.5-year relationship ended the year I started working. Knowing that Lena was now close to Eric, I must have shown a clear lack of emotion. Eric asked me why, and I briefly recounted what I had just remembered.
Is that really true, Lena?
Yeah, all our friends know about it. I'm sorry. I know she's your junior colleague, but I'd really rather not see her.
Oh, I get it. Don't worry, Lena and I aren't particularly close. I'll only invite my boss and colleagues I'm close with.
Eric accepted my feelings. Even so, Lena's name was clearly on the final seating chart. When I asked him, he said that since he was inviting the close members of his department, he couldn't exclude just her. That unwavering stance meant that at my once-in-a-lifetime wedding, I had to reunite with someone I never wanted to see again. Her unexpected presence made my friends from school freeze, especially Katie, who was Eric's colleague, and she was fuming at his insensitivity the entire time. At the church, the reception, and even the greetings, Lena threw nothing but ominous looks at me instead of words. And she gave equally meaningful looks to Eric beside me. Oh, here we go again. The moment I realized that, my dark marriage life began. Both Eric and I continued in our sales jobs, and marriage didn't change our daily lives. Visits, meetings, entertaining clients, business trips. We had to make an effort to find any time together, or we'd just pass each other by. Still, my colleagues and department mates were considerate, helping me with work during free time and scheduling outside jobs earlier to help the newlywed me. However, despite my efforts, Eric's time at home kept decreasing, with business trips and client meetings often falling on weekends.
I have a business trip this weekend.
What, again?
I can't help it. It's that kind of period for my position.
Yeah, I get that, but...
By the way, Lena was asking if you were doing okay.
What? Did Lena ask about it?
You said all that, but she's a good person. Did those things you mentioned really happen?
Unlike back then, Eric was falling deeper into Lena's trap. They were often assigned to the same projects and went on business trips together frequently. Colleagues at Eric's company even asked me, "Are you okay with your husband always being with Lena?" Eventually, while I was on business trips, Eric started bringing Lena to our home. Eric probably thought I didn't find out, but Lena was a woman who liked to assert herself. She left evidence of her presence in our house every time, taunting me. A year into our marriage, I had reached my limit. It was time for me to fight back. I decided to set up for our separation. 1 week after our divorce, my life was going smoothly. The new apartment I rented was just a 15-minute car ride to work, and without Eric's clutter, It was a simple and pleasant space. More importantly, without the burden, I slept well and woke up refreshed. I realized just how much stress I had been under. But today, I had to see Eric to return something he had forgotten. I heard he'd be back from his business trip this afternoon, so he should be home by now. As I thought about this, my phone on the table buzzed, showing Eric's name on the screen. I ignored it and headed to our old home to fulfill my purpose.
What's going on?
Eric yelled as soon as I walked into the living room using my old key. His suitcase and bags of souvenirs were thrown about. From the repeated buzzing on my phone, it was clear he had been trying to reach me. Why are you yelling? I'm not here to talk. I just came to return the spare key.
Why are you returning it?
Because this isn't my home anymore.
Why?
Here's the key. What's your problem?
Why is Lena in our apartment?
Because she's your wife now.
How can you say something so crazy?
It's not crazy at all. You divorced me and married her. So I moved out and she's living there now. Isn't that what you wanted? You kept saying you wanted to divorce me and marry her.
When did I ever say that?
You said it many times. In this house, in this living room, in your room. Eric looked confused, and Lena argued, "You did say that." Not wanting to talk to Lena, I took out the voice recorder I had brought and pressed play.
Hey, when are you going to break up with Karen?
Well, she's so persistent, saying she doesn't want to break up and begging me not to leave her. It's so annoying.
That's so annoying.
If I could marry you, I'd file for divorce right now and register our marriage immediately.
Really?
Sure, you're my destiny, Lena.
Eric, do you really feel that way?
Look, see?
Is this a divorce paper and a marriage registration?
Yeah, I've already signed them. The witness section is filled out too.
Wow, this makes me so happy. Can I really submit these? If Karen agrees, can I?
Of course, I'd love to submit them right now and kick her out of here.
Hearing this conversation, Eric turned pale and clammed up. With this, there was no need for further explanation. See, you clearly said it. When Lena asked, "If Karen agrees, can I submit them?" You said of course, and that you wanted to kick me out, so I left. Aren't I so considerate? I followed the wishes of my hated ex-husband.
Wait, why did you do something like that without telling me?
What do you mean without telling you? You declared it yourself, and not just once. You said it multiple times.
That's right. Eric told me many times that he wanted to divorce Karen and marry me, and that we'd live here together.
Lena backed me up. Eric, shocked by Lena's words, started to get angry.
Lena, just be quiet. This is between me and Karen.
Why? Eric, you married me. You were so annoyed with Karen, so what's the problem now?
That's not the point.
Then what is? Aren't you happy, Eric?
Shut up.
I watched their argument unfold, feeling detached as if it were someone else's problem. Lena seemed confused, wondering why Eric wasn't as happy as she was, even though things had turned out just as they had planned. Lena is quite a pitiful woman. Not that I felt sorry for her, but that thought crossed my mind. Isn't it awful to talk to your beloved Lena like that?
Don't act like you care. You don't feel sorry for her at all.
You're right. I don't feel sorry for Lena one bit. But not feeling sorry for her and ignoring what you've done are two different things. You've been involved with others too. I can't just overlook that, can I? At my statement, Lena furrowed her brows. What's going on? Is he seeing someone else? This doesn't make sense, right? Lena, he's not just with you.
What?
You're not the only one he's sleeping with.
Jesus Christ.
I set up that voice recorder every time he said he'd be late because of business trips or meetings. At first, it was to catch evidence of his affair with you. That was easy and done early on. But after checking the recorder each time, I realized something. This guy isn't just with you. He has 2 other women.
No way.
Lena was clearly shocked, gasping and looking flustered. Serves you right. That was my honest feeling. Lena, who stole Eric from me and took the position of the rightful wife, should be at the peak of happiness now. That's fine by me. It has nothing to do with me. But no matter how shocked she was, Lena did the same to me without a second thought. Actually, she did worse over and over again. Is it wrong for me to think she should feel some of that pain?
Karen, did you know this and keep it from me?
Why would I need to tell you? You're in the same position as those other women. I was his wife, you were the others. I had no obligation to be nice to you.
But you and I are different. We're friends.
How can you even say that? Are you the one to talk? I must have been showing that clearly on my face. Lena quickly shut her mouth, and Eric watched as if it were none of his business. To the 2 of them, I spoke cheerfully on purpose. Are we friends? So, you both thought Lena and I were friends while doing this?
Well,
I refused her at first. I couldn't imagine doing something like that with my fiancé's friend. I said I couldn't even go out for drinks with her. But Lena was really pushy. She said she needed to talk about you, so I reluctantly went to dinner. She tricked me into drinking strong alcohol, saying it was a soft drink, and I got really drunk. I was threatened by Lena, who forced me to make the fact that I cheated.
What?
why are you saying that? Eric, you knew exactly what you were doing when you drank. You pretended to be taken advantage of, but you were fully conscious. Saying you were drunk is a lie. You remembered everything.
That's because you recorded everything and kept showing it to me. You did all of this.
That's horrible. I thought we finally became a family. I was so happy to tell this baby we had a father.
The foolish argument between the two took a turn with Lena's last statement. Eric seemed shocked, cautiously asking Lena,
Did you say you're pregnant?
I did.
Does that mean you're expecting?
What else would it mean?
Who's the baby's father?
What? Who else would it be? Are you accusing me of cheating with someone else?
Lena, with tears welling up in her eyes, screamed in fear and frustration. As she bit her lip, I decided to help her out in an unexpected way. For the record, Lena isn't cheating.
What?
Sure, what Lena did to me was terrible, and I'll never forgive her for this or anything in the past. But I know she's devoted. Maybe it started out of rivalry with me. It's true Lena fell for the guy I chose and really loved him. That's why she was genuinely happy to become your wife. Lena, when I called you that day, you were happy to be with Eric, right? It wasn't just about winning against me. You were overjoyed to be with him.
Is that so bad? I liked Eric even before I knew he was your boyfriend. Even with a girlfriend working together every day, I thought maybe one day I'd have a chance. That's how I felt. But when Eric said he was getting married and I realized it was to you, all my feelings from college came back. I envied your calm presence and natural ability to attract people. I wondered why my efforts didn't pay off. Even back then, I admired you as a person. I realized I couldn't compete with you. Now, I finally met someone I could truly love. But once again, it's you. When I found out you were his fiancé, I thought, not again. But this time, I couldn't give up. I wanted him, no matter the risk. I decided to go all in.
And now you're pregnant.
I was happy. You couldn't do it, but I could. That alone made me happy. Eric said he wanted to divorce you and be with me, and he even prepared the papers. So when you called that day, I was genuinely thrilled. But now I find out there are others too.
Lena teared up as she put her hand on her stomach. She looked genuinely afraid. But there was nothing I could do for her. Eric,
What?
take responsibility. Her baby is yours, and you have a duty as a father.
I can't keep up with such a sudden thing.
She is just as shocked. Don't be so naive. Being pregnant means she's not alone. Even if she looks fine, Lena is carrying your child. Even if she feels sick or tired, she's living every day with a tiny life inside her. This isn't the time for you to be fooling around with call girls and kinky stuff.
Gosh.
Oh my god, call girls?
Eric's face turned bright red, while Lena looked bewildered. They probably never expected the term call girls to come up. Their changing expressions were amusing. Yes, this guy seems to have some kinky tendencies and would call his favorite call girls to the house. The voice recorder has plenty of evidence, but it's too disgusting to even talk about, so I'll keep quiet about the details.
Karen, don't you dare say anything.
Even if he hadn't told me not to, it's gross to even mention it. I never imagined that the man I'd been with for years had such hobbies. The fact that I knew this must be a black mark in Eric's history. I'm glad I have something to use against you if needed.
Stop it.
Is it okay if I leave now? Both of you are still despicable to me. A guy with weird fetishes and a stalker girl, you're a perfect match.
What?
You two should get along well as terrible people. Whether you forgive each other and play happy family, or Eric uses call girls to relieve himself while Lena is pregnant, or you fight like cats and dogs, do whatever you want. Good luck. Having no more reason to stay, I turned around to leave, but Eric desperately called out.
Karen, wait. I never wanted to break up with you. I always thought you'd forgive me. What I said wasn't how I truly felt.
I turned back, seeing Eric's desperate face. His bloodshot eyes seemed to see through his lies, and I sighed softly before responding. Sorry, but we're already divorced. Legally, we have no connection. Reconciliation is impossible, and honestly, I never want to be involved with you again. If it's about money, talk to Lena. She works too, so you'll manage.
Hold on, Karen.
You're clinging to me because of money, right? How pathetic. Lena, watching Eric silently bite his lip, asked a perfectly reasonable question.
What do you mean about money?
Lena seemed genuinely confused. He has a gambling addiction.
Gambling?
Slots, poker, roulette, and even sports betting. He's into all of it. Despite working for over 10 years, he has no savings. Sometimes he even used our living expenses, and there were times when he was desperately paying off debts.
Really?
I guess Eric didn't tell you that part. I found out after we got married, and I felt completely deceived.
Karen.
It's the truth, isn't it? Anyway, Lena, as his wife now, you should know. And since he's likely to keep it a secret forever, it's important to let you know. I glanced at the two of them stunned and finally headed to the front door. There was no one to stop me now. The light beyond the door was so bright that it warmly embraced me as soon as I stepped outside. Goodbye. The door closed behind me with a decisive thud, cutting off the noise from inside. A year later, I'm still living at my new place, leading a calm and steady life on my own. After hiring a lawyer, I collected the alimony over the past year, with today being the final payment. I confirmed the completion online and let out a small sigh of relief. It had been a long journey. Today, my relationship with my ex-husband truly ended. Maybe my expression unconsciously showed how relieved I felt. Katie, who was having lunch with me at the cafe, looked at me curiously from across the table while poking at her pasta.
What's up? You look unusually refreshed today.
You can tell?
Of course I can. How many times have I seen your face? I know you better than your ex-husband did.
True. Well, today was the last alimony payment.
Oh, so you finally cut ties with that man.
Exactly. It was a long process because it was paid in installments. It felt like the connection was never really severed.
I see. So today is the real goodbye.
Yeah. Kitty's gentle eyes met my slightly sentimental ones. It reminded me of similar moments back in our school days.
By the way, I heard Lena's baby was born.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So they're still married? Even that jerk couldn't abandon a pregnant woman, right?
Yeah, and I heard she paid off all his debts, so now he's totally under her thumb.
Seriously?
Yeah, a colleague who's in the same department as them heard it from someone who works with them.
That colleague came to your wedding, right?
Yeah, someone even asked, "Is Karen okay? We're all worried about her."
Oh, so that's why they shared this embarrassing story.
Maybe. And Lena even paid my alimony in one lump sum. Apparently, she's into investing and managed to gather a lot of money.
Wow. So she paid off his debts in your alimony? That's impressive.
Exactly. And who actually paid the alimony? Like Katie, I was shocked when I heard that. Who knew Lena had such a talent? I wish Eric could learn a thing or two from her.
But it's got to be awkward for everyone around them. Imagine a colleague you saw get married is now divorced and remarried to a younger coworker who's pregnant. It's like a drama.
Katie, seriously? Sorry. Katie stuck out her tongue playfully, probably trying to cheer me up with humor. It's her way of saying that the whole situation is so absurd, I shouldn't worry about it. And I really appreciate that. Well, I'll throw myself into work for a while.
No, you should relax and have some fun. You're only 30. With your looks, it's a waste to be so serious.
Really?
Absolutely. By the way, what are you going to do with the alimony from your ex?
Well, I haven't spent Lena's alimony either. It's quite a lot.
Wow, Karen, you're rich now.
Yeah, but I want to spend it all. You understand?
Totally.
But I don't want to spend it on anything that lasts.
Because you'd be reminded of it every time you see it, right?
Exactly. So, Katie, let's go on a trip.
What?
Let's enjoy a luxurious overseas vacation.
Seriously?
Yeah, let's take Yvonne and make it a trip for the three of us.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Karen, let's do it.
Katie's enthusiasm skyrocketed as she asked, "Where should we go?" I realized lunch break was almost over, and we quickly finished our pasta. Walking back to the office, Katie's usual smile reminded me of how much her support has meant to me since our school days. Katie.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Oh, come on. We're in this together, right? I get so much strength from you too. Don't forget that.
At 30, I may have lost my partner, but my lifelong friend is still by my side. My life isn't over yet. Though thinking like this might make Katie call me too serious again. With these thoughts, I headed back to work for the afternoon.